Good morning, I am Kevin Price. Glad to be with you, talking to you about you and your business. And as usual, we have a lot to talk about. Our sister website, usdailyreview.com, getting well over 1 million hits a month, producing great content. And we have a guest today who recently wrote a guest article over there at usdailyreview.com about really, to keep it simple, how to break away from the pack, to be the leader you want to be in your business and in your organization. Nigel Desau, he's our guest, and his website, he's got a couple, but I'm just going to mention the 3minutementor.com just to avoid overwhelming the listener with various sites. How are you, Nigel?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and glad to. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Well, it's really been a sort of hobby stroke alternate life for me. I'm a chief marketing officer at various large companies over my lifetime. But this site's really designed to help people who are building their career and don't have a mentor and want to look for some mentoring advice.
Okay, and I'd say that's great. Mentors have played a huge role in my life professionally. I'm grateful to them, and I'm also in the role of a mentor for a few people, and I think I benefit them as well. And it's not so much the profound wisdom or knowledge that a mentor can bring, although that can sometimes be the case. It's often just the third-party objectivity, the been there, done that, those type of things that make a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know anyone who's been successful in this world who hasn't had one or probably multiple mentors. And people often confuse, mentoring and coaching. And, the coach runs up and down the sideline shouting good advice to you while the game is on. But the mentor, as you described it, really is a third party set aside who can give you new objectives and new perspectives on what you're doing and how to be more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your book as well.
Well, we've got over 120 episodes up at the 3minutementor.com, but 120 episodes is a lot for people to consume. So we actually went through, looked at the most popular episodes and turned 36 of them into a book. So it's a really easy to read, fast pick up, 36 chapters that if you start to follow some of this advice may well help you accelerate your career.
Yeah, and by the way, I noticed, the accent doesn't sound like New England. It sounds like Old England. You've been in the U.S., though, for how long? And you are from England originally. By the way, my mom is from England. Spent a lot of time in Wigan growing up in the, poorer part of the country, as it's known, but a beautiful part of the country nonetheless. Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from the middle of the country, Nottingham, which of course is best known for Robin Hood, but I've lived in America for 19 years in New England, in Texas, and in Colorado.
Okay, very good. You're in Colorado now.
No, now I'm in Boston now, but a few years, we've just been here 3 years and 5 years in Austin before that. Yeah,
very good. So the 3-Minute Mentor, what the idea is behind that concept is to consolidate a lot of information in a very short time frame. And how many videos did you say you have altogether?
So we have 120. Most of the millennials who are 50% of the, will be 50% of the workforce by 2020, aren't very good at reading long things or listening to long things or have shorter attention spans. So we decided that if we were going to get this career advice and this sort of coaching and mentoring out, we probably wouldn't be able to hold their attention for more than 3 minutes. So we try and take a subject that we think will help them accelerate their career and boil it down into 3 minutes and see if we can hold their attention for that span.
Yeah, I was reading for the first time now the Millennials are the single largest group out there. That kind of surprised me how that just kind of crept up on us.
Yeah, they're about a third plus of the workforce, but by 2020 will be half. And what's absolutely fascinating is the generational gap between the people sort of at the top of companies and the millennials coming in. And the people at the top of the companies are really struggling with the way they think about how these millennials think. But they're going to have to get over that, and they're going to have to learn to tune into the way that the millennials work and the way they want to behave. Because invariably, that's their future workforce and their future leadership.
Yeah, I guess it's revenge, when these baby boomers when they came into the workforce, what they did to those greatest generation and to the silent generation, it's revenge time.
But this is going to happen every generation. The next generation after the millennials will be something different. I think what's really interesting, though, about the millennial generation, which is really frightening for a lot of business leaders, is these guys and girls don't necessarily feel they have to have a job. And if it's not a job that fits their purpose and fits their view on ethics and stuff, they would rather go out because, you know what, they've never been hungry. They've never had to make the decision, do I buy food or beer, which is, when we were young, at least we used to make. They've never gone hungry. They don't feel the need for a job the way that we did or even our parents' generation. And that's scary for business people.
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. So, kind of give me. So would you say your target audience is in fact the millennials?
Yeah, I think that when we look at who looks at the website and is buying the book, they're sort of 25 to 45-ish. So that's sort of millennials and Gen X, which is more the sort of generation that I'm in. I mean, I think if you're already quite senior, I think you'd find the book interesting, but you'd probably find it interesting as something you want to give to someone who's climbing the ladder now.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, again, I encourage people to start off over there at the3minutementor.com. Make sure you put in the at the beginning, the3minutementor.com. While you're there, you'll see some great videos, and there's a lot of them, plus an excellent book there. That, by the way, how much do you charge them for that?
It's $9.95 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a great rate, and it sounds like it's just a thing. Millennials have such a difficult time. They're so autonomous, and they've been kind of raised to do so, and the younger ones even more so with their isolation and insulation around technology. It's like they all live in a little world of their own, and so I think books like this are really practical.
Yeah, but don't forget, the isolation is because they're involved in social and web and communities, and they're probably not as isolated as you think they are. And by the way, if you're a business, that's what your customers look like, and more what your customers look like. And if you want to relate to those customers, you want to connect to them, you need a generation that knows how to do that.
Very good. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And again, I want to encourage the listener to check out the 3minutementor.com, the3minutementor.com. Nigel, thanks so much for being with us. Nigel Desau.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdatareview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and this is The Price of Business.